We got ourselves team 2 with, we got Allayed as a Retribution Paladin. Now we got to play last time. We got Restraint with Liquid Fire. Are we fire? We are fire. Demoniac as a rogue, and we got Shiryu. How you doing, my guy? Going in with a massive spear on his back as a monk versus Team Cat Jam. On Cat Jam team, we're gonna have a Feral Aventador up first with Poison Soaks in the back. We got ourselves Flex and Cutie and Scarlet, all available and ready to go. Aventador looking for maybe a different opener onto Liquid Fire is going to open up. Liquid not going for any kind of responses in the opener, going for double stun as Aventador. How do you get a second stun in there? It looked like it was a double rake. I guess he Shadow Stealth, how Shadow Melded? Liquid Fire? What kind of legendary playing? Breath onto Aventador, doesn't sit the breath long at all. Liquid Fire just going for the Fire Blast Pyros, and later the images do majority of the damage, having to back up and maybe go for some food. And Aventador is going to charge in, trying to maybe reduce any kind of eats for Liquid Fire, force him to stay on his toes. Going to be a Nova for the Mage. I don't really know if they have much left, or they're going to be Aventador leaping in with an Ice Block for Liquid Fire. Does give him a lot of health recovery with a Conduit. What kind of legendary is Liquid Fire playing? I'm not seeing a triple shield, which is what most mages are running right now. Trying to go for a better Aventador, expect for him to be next to him. He is not. The Feral is going to be out of stealth, still catching himself in the reopener. Big old bite onto Liquid Fire, does have Alter Time available, so should be able to maybe get himself a setup. Combustion is ready, mining to Alter Time early, trying to see if he can chase after Aventador. Has big Pyros available, is playing the Nightfall Covenant trinkets out of this, and almost had the Pyros ready. If only he didn't get confused in which direction he blinked to. He actually would have been able to get double Fire Blast Pyro into Fire Blast into Pyro maybe. That's how much time he had there. Going to be reopened by Aventador. Does he have Ring of Peace? Actually, just going to go with a big old Meteor on Aventador. Does poke out of cat form for a second to get himself a bit of a heal. And that's going to be a wall for the Feral Druid. Liquid Fire still does have Cauterize Shift and Power. Is going to use as he gets interrupted with a breath onto Aventador. Liquid Fire could maybe still come back. They're still not out of the duel. Aventador catching up on a lot of health. And Liquid Fire hopefully has food to maybe catch up on. If he does, he'll be in a good spot, man. Any kind of eats is going to help him. And actually, big eats. Look at that. Almost Nova. Aventador out of stealth. Still going to have to eat that opener. Man, the Feral is just tearing through the Mage. Breathing on him. Alter Time available. He's going to be able to catch up on health. That is an arcane ability. Oh, no. Alter Time a little late. That is going to be the pod. And Aventador should be able to take down the pod before Liquid Fire gets any kind of setup with it. Next up is going to be Allayed. Been itching to play some games, man. Been itching to hit some Ferals with some judgments. Is going to be able to at least mount up, chasing after the Feral, landing the opener around the corner. And Allayed is a perfect covenant against the Feral Druid. Is able to deal with the bleeds quite handily. Thorns available for it as he's just sitting in that bear from getting belted. Actually, going to be a Hodge as he tried to go for a Cyclone. Allayed does choose to go for big wings. Did get himself Seraphim up and running. Big damage coming out. Aventador catching a re-stealth into a stun, into some sprint, but big judgment from downtown, taking him out. Allayed just had massive Seraphim setup. Seraphim just gives you so much extra mastery, versatility, crit, as well as haste. If a Paladin does end up committing big damage for a massive Seraphim, you better be worried. Scarlet is going to be up next, playing that Frosty, making those shatters work. We haven't really seen a Frost Mage dominating these duels, man. I would actually love to see a Frost Mage just owning it up. Like, trying to see if he might be able to seek in a heal past Scarlet. Scarlet does not have an interrupt. The silence comes out. Allayed is having to go for a cure, and Vile does give him enough self-healing in order to deal with this. And Scarlet continuing to use the shatters in order to deal with Allayed. But Allayed's self-healing and self-sustainability is just way too high for him. He is able to at least maintain Frost Bolts. That's going to be Alter Time, which is perfect. Scarlet did decide to trinket that Hodge, actually. Still has Alter Time, I believe. And Allayed just gotta wait next to the Alter Time, knows he can port it back any moment, wants to be there to interrupt immediately. Interrupt on Frost with some wings, hammer, flying, big hammer right after, but no Seraphim to combine with the damage. And that's gonna be Allayed still getting kind of around. Scarlet Faithing does have the kind ability, does have the slows and roots for ages. As for the damage against Allayed, at least, Allayed just got so much ramp up. And I think that might have been a Miss Nova, or at least a DR Nova for Scarlet. Dropping down Frozen Orb, Allayed trying to see if it could walk around it. Still super low, might be actually a bubble or something. Does Allayed have it? Does have a bubble. I'm surprised he actually decided to get that low and then Word of Glory himself. I'm actually so surprised. Scarlet does go for the Ice Block, does give him recovery on health. At least Frost Mages do have that, and you have 2 Ice Blocks. That's a lot of health recovery while you're immune, which is a massive game changer for Conduit. which used to be a glyph back in Mists of Pandaria too. Glad they brought that back. Dora Shadows 4, Scarlet has the mobility. Poly onto Alade, does trick it out of it immediately. Another palm move going out. Man, it's been a bit. Mirrors of Torment with that Ray of Frost. Alade. Do Alade's attacks, like judgments, do they count for mirrors? Because I think it used to be that there's 3 mirrors, but then there's like, it would be 1 if it's the last mirror. I don't know if it still has a visual part of it or not. Maybe it does. It's really hard to tell. I guess we'll know if Alade ever gets rooted and silenced. Then we'll know for sure. Looks like it's going to be another Iceberg for Scarlet. Alade still holding on to the bubble. Taking down the images in a single sweep, and it actually might even turn around onto the Elemental. He technically could. Scarlet popping off with the Alter Time. Maybe if Alade can belf it off, Scarlet does create some distance. He's going to have to resummon a pet. That is some globals he did not want to use. Is going to blink back with Alade, meeting him with massive damage. Just that Seraphim Hammer ready to go. Man, that's rough. That's actually rough. I remember at the beginning of this expansion, like during the betas and then during the pre-patch, Frost Mages will slap, and I'm wondering if Frost Mages will make a comeback. Because I see a lot of fire. I see Arcane here and there, but I don't see a lot of Frost. I wonder if there's a play for Frost anywhere. Because Affliction is back. You know, Affliction is back from yesterday. If you guys were there. Red healing is stupid. Yeah, hybrid classes do have a lot of healing, so I guess that is fair. In a 1v1, I guess maybe for Frost Mages it would be tough. Maybe with a Rogue and the CC that Frost Mages have, and being able to have an extra person to land those kicks and, you know, cross CC, maybe that's where Frost Mages shine, but maybe in a pure 1v1 it just might not be their battleground. Alade still holding on to the bubble from the last 2 duels. I'm surprised he didn't press bubble. I'm surprised he just kind of stayed low. Just Word of Glory himself when he got like at 1% health. And it looked like, I mean, it looked like Scarlet was going to end it there, but I guess it didn't work out. That's rough, though. That's a rough duel for sure. And Cat Jam not really pushing it out later. It looks like they're both going to exchange the judgments. Hodge going to line up for Cat Jam first. Tricky coming out for Alade as a dropping kind of lowish on health. Shield evaders for the both of them. Alade shield does not hold long, though, but Cat Jam's neither. And Alade dots of a massive Seraphim. Cat Jam does not look like he plays Seraphim. Alade is able to catch up on a lot of health, where Cat Gem is actually playing it very, might have to pop a bubble here. Does have wings, and Alade hasn't even used wings. Bubble coming out, and actually that's Alade's damage with Seraphim alone without wings. So imagine now that they have wings for Cat Gem, just how difficult it's going to be. Stun onto Cat Gem, no human racial available. It looks like Alade might end it here. Hodge coming out for Cat Gem, turning around. Doesn't get the Word of Glories. He definitely needs more holy power right now. Is going to dip behind the pillar, catching those flashlights, and Alade is on his trail. We're at the 7-minute mark, boys. 16% dampener with Alade, still throwing down the hammers. And Cat Gem needs more holy power. I think at some point he just might need to use everything he has for holy power. Just Word of Glory himself. Bop still available if he needs it. Alade still holding on to Bubble if ever necessary. Hodge onto Cat Gem. Does he have the damage? Seraphim is there. I think that's all he needs. Doesn't even need wings. Seraphim is stronger than wings, boys. Oh my god. 45 seconds to D. It is nutty. Poison Soaks is going to be up next as a Feral. Maybe this is where Alade will finally have to use a Bubble or even a Blessing of Protection. Bubble does come out. Hoping to turn the damage aggressive versus Poison. Poison is super far out, so might as well peel back and do a bit of recouping as we hit the 8-minute mark. 20% dampener, boys. Possibly amazing coming now on level 29. Oh yeah, what do you get around level 29? Is that a Soulbind that's gonna be good for it? Yeah, that could be really good. Alade going super far away from any pillars, and actually somehow Poison Soaks does not get a proper opener. Convo coming out, actually landing random brass into Team 2. Big damage onto Alade. Does he have enough survivability here? Big reopener. Poison might just have a Bob coming out for Alade. Cyclone, does he get interrupted? He does not, and Alade does have a Trinket. Is going to Trinket this immediately. And there goes the Word of Glories. The 24% dampening. His health is starting to suffer from the lack of Word of Glories now. But he's still able to maintain. I believe he used a Kyrian pot in order to remove the bleeds. Still maintaining himself. Hovering super low, but there he goes. Only so much you can do with all those bleeds and all that damn. And why is he also green right now? Wait, he's like... Why is he... He's like green and smelly now. What is this? What happened? Maybe Poison Soaks has soaked his claws in poison. Maybe that's just what happened. Liquefied the boy. Poor man. Restraint gonna be up next. The Shadow Priest using similar strategy, hanging out by the corner, no pillars, and poison is going to be able to sink those poisonous claws into him. Should be quite a bit of damage. Restraint does land a stun. And there goes the mind games. In case Poison Soaks goes for a self-heal, he's going to just hurt himself. If he goes aggressive, he's also going to hurt or just help Restraint. Doorway of Shadows, he's trying to catch up to Poison, and that's going to be Ursal stopping in place. Did not walk into Ursal's. But there's a lot of damage out of Restraint. That was actually pretty big cooldowns out of him. PI as well as Void Form. With big damage out of that. They still can go for a bunch of DPs though. As it going to be Poison Soaks barely behind the pillar, just kind of hanging out. Shadowman's available for Restraint. It looks like that was almost a re-stealth opener for Poison. Get a hit with the fear, thrown in the other direction. Restraint does he have a bunch of DPs? Loading up DPs, getting the pet up and running onto the Feral Druid. 33% dampener, the better start healing each other. Restraint cycling into the Vampiric Embrace. Stun into Poison Soaks with Mind Games after Mind have him filled up. Oh! Put him in an unwinnable position. Mind Blast into the Shadowboard Death at the end there. Actually, nothing you can do. Can't heal yourself. Can't do damage. Just over. Shadow Priest with a Mind Blast. Mind Games, dude. It's huge. And Flexing goes in for a bit of an honor duel with Restraint. A nice cordial bow for the both of them. Demonic right up. It's kind of hanging out. I was thinking maybe Demonic was like, what? No, let me first Flexing. Just want to say hello. Just want to say what up. Hey, dude. How you doing, man? Oh my goodness, dude. That's gonna be Restraint. Getting those dots up and running onto Flexing. With a Resonating Arrow does Greater Faded, so a lot of the damage Flexing has is actually going to get completely ignored. Oh, actually runs into the Shadow Crash with a Mind Games right after for Restraint. Got himself a nice setup. Silence on the Flexing. Not really sure the Silence will do much for Survival Hunter. Does go for a Feign Death to remove the Mind Games though. So the Hunter does have a way to deal with Mind Games quite easily. Just Feign Deathing it. That's what the Feign Death removes all the dots. Also allows them that many advantage. So it's going to be a lot of survivability for Flexing. A 41% dampener. Restraint does have PI. Void Form not available, but he can go for a big haste setup. So if he can get a stun into Flexing PI, big damage since PI is off DCD, and go for a big go, he will be in a good spot. This is going to be a kind of a rough duel between the two. Dots for dots, Doorway Shadows coming out, and Flexing looking like he's actually going to line it. Doesn't want to fight the Shadow Priest just yet, waiting for it. Just gonna swing around, get some dots up and running, stun, and it's gonna be the PI for Restraint, trying to go for a bunch of damage onto Flexing. Does he go for a Feign Death? Stun onto Restraint, still has Mind Games, looks like actually maybe Feign Death over the last second. Leaping away, and Restraint does have Greater Fate. PI is still available. Does he have the mobility to catch up? Looks like he does not. And just has to peel out of there. Flexing does play the Kyrian, so there's gonna be his Sippy Cup available. With many bidders around the corner. Looks like Flexing is probably going to take this as a very, very slow game. Let the dots kind of do their thing. Let the poisons with Serpent Sting do their thing. And really doesn't want to fight Restraint. Restraint, every single stun, which is like every 45 seconds, I believe, should be able to have like a really solid go on Flexing. Every 45 seconds, not much you can really do about it. Vampiric Embrace available. Vamping it. Shadow Crash does hit Flexing, and that's going to be maybe some damage setup. Fear on both the Hunter and the Pet. Shadow Men's coming out. Mind Games on the Flexing with it. Shadowboard Death. And I think he can take out Flexing. Wait, did Flexing kill himself? Wait, did Flexing just heal himself inside of that? I think he did. I think he started healing himself with bandages and just hurting himself. Oh no. Wait, that's crazy. That's actually crazy, dude. Wow, that's awesome. Wait, that's nutty. Yo.